Good day everybody, I'm Jeremy from Survival Showcase, and today we're taking a look at a really nice little fun gun. It's a Rimfire. It's the 1022 Ruger's SR-22. The thing that makes it most significant to most people is the fact that it looks like an AR rifle. It's got the same style AR pistol grip here, same style adjustable 6-position stock back here, and up front I've added to it a little bipod. The Ruger SR-22 is just one of the many variations of Ruger 1022s that are on the market today. The style of Ruger SR-22 mimics the handling and feeling of an AR-style rifle, letting the Rimfire firearms enthusiasts send thousands of rounds downrange at minimal cost. If you want one of these rifles today, you'll have to look around as they've been discontinued. So some points for a great shooting experience with the Ruger SR-22. Ruger 1022s work well with a wide variety of ammunition. Stick to high velocity is will run the action best. It will run standard velocity ammunition as well. The stock on this rifle is very different from what most 1022 shooters are used to and may require a riser or high to extra high set of rings to get the optic at a proper height. Bring lots of ammunition as this gun is fun and you will shoot a pile of rounds through it in one trip to the range. Magazines, you'll want to have a good supply of magazines on hand and have them preloaded. A mag loader would also be a great idea. So the stock on the Ruger SR-22 rifle is a 6-position fully adjustable stock, and it has the Ruger logo on it, and as well as you can see the little adjustment tab at the rear of the stock right up under here. You just pull that up and you slide frontwards or backwards for length of pull. The adjustable stock is affixed to the Ruger SR-22 rifle via castle nut, just like it is on an AR-15. In fact, this stock should slide over and allow a buffer tube from an AR-15 to fit inside of it. Obviously on this rifle there is no buffer tube, as it is just a rimfire rifle. One of the things that makes this 1022 stand out from other ones is the fact that they actually use a Hogue rubber grip on there, which is again basically an AR style grip. It's got the Ruger logo on it and it fits the style of stock that is on this rifle. It's very comfortable. If you've ever held on to Hogue grip, you really like it. The chassis of this rifle is a piece of aluminum, and it's been, you can see where it's been custom engraved with the Ruger logo. Sorry, it's not custom, that's straight from the factory, with the Ruger logo and the SR-22 rifle designation towards the rear of this shot. You can see that it is a standard action up there where it's got the operating handle sticking out inside. This is a complete Ruger 1022 encased in that aluminum chassis. Down below you will see that it is the same trigger group with the crossbolt safety to the front of the trigger, and it's just a standard 1022 trigger that's on there. Also, to drop out the mag, you can see the tab that's ahead of the trigger there, and it just like any other Ruger 1022, it just drops out. So up on top of this Ruger SR-1022, we have a solid piece of aluminum rail, and that's what you can mount your optic on. I've elected to go with a Burris Fastfire 3 on top, and I'll test that out later. But you can see that this is a solid piece of rail that's right into the chassis. At the front of this rifle, we feature a nice aluminum forend, and it gives us the ability, you can see that there's little holes on the side facing us. Those little screw holes will allow you to affix slots of aluminum rail to the front forend, so you can attach any accessories that you might want to have up front. Some of these rifles actually came with fast deploy sights on it, so it would have a rear sight, and then up front it would have your front sight on a little piece of rail. You can see that I've fixed the bipod to the bottom. It does have a stud down there, so you don't have to use a piece of rail to affix your bipod. You can just attach it with the stud like a standard bipod would be attached. And you'll notice that inside there's no, underneath of that front forend, there's no gas working. It's just a standard 1022, so it's just a blowback action. The barrel on this rifle is a 16-inch barrel. It's not a bull barrel, but it is a heavy barrel for this rifle. It's not their standard contour. So the muzzle end of this rifle actually features a little bit of a recess, just so that you don't damage any of the rifling at the end of the barrel. Now, if you were looking to find where they put the serial number on this rifle, you just go to the other side of the aluminum chassis and you'll see where they've cut out part of the chassis, and the receiver on the actual 1022 inside actually features a serial number. So they've taken that chassis over top of the 1022 receiver, just cut it a little notch, and that's where your serial number is there at the top left corner of this shot. Sling mounting points, there actually is a spot at the rear of the stock on the bottom where you can slide a sling through and attach it there. There is a sling stud at the front where I showed you I had the bipod earlier. So if you want to put a sling on here, it's very easy to do so. So my choice of optic for this rifle at this point is a Burris Fastfire 3. And you'll also notice that I have a Tough Force riser underneath of that, just to jack it up a little bit, and that gets it at perfect height, so when I put my head on the rear of the stock, I can see through the sight perfectly. If you don't have that riser under there, it's really difficult to use this type of sight. You'd probably want a medium set of rings with a scope otherwise. Operating the bolt on this 1022 rifle is pretty much the same as any other 1022 rifle. You're gonna put your finger down here. You're gonna pull back on the operating handle. You push in with this bottom finger down here, and then let go, and then that will release the bolt. To get it to stay back, you pull your operating handle back, you press that in. There you go. So let's do that again. Again, to let it go, pull it back, then you let your finger off the bottom and it stays. When I was operating the bolt in the last shot there, I was talking about a little tab that you pull in to release. That's this tab right here. Not to be confused with this one here. That's the magazine release. Push that one forward, magazine will drop out. This one right here, my finger's on, is the one that will pull in, pull back on the bolt, and then it'll release it. This rifle features a cross bolt style safety, so you push it through that way, you're safe, and then take it off safe, you just push it back through. The trigger on this rifle, nothing fancy, just your standard plastic 1022 trigger in there. Okay, so I've loaded up a couple mags for this rifle. Got them preloaded right here. Today we're shooting Remington Golden Bullet. So I'm gonna put one of these mags in the rifle, just right here in the bottom. Click it in. Action's open. I'm gonna shut it. Put the safety on. Should have a round chambered. Safety off. Got a target downrange. One thing with 22 rimfire, there's not much recoil at all. The handling of this rifle is pretty much like any other type of rifle, a rimfire that's in an AR configuration. The grip feels really nice on the hand. The trigger is a standard Ruger 1022 trigger. So just squeezing off the line. Very familiar platform. Come on, mag open. So overall, a really neat rifle to shoot. It's like I said, it's like any other 1022 platform. This one here gives you the handling and feel of an AR style rifle. So if you want to send those rounds down range and get some practice at handling that type of a rifle, excellent platform. I believe these new were in the range of about $730 Canadian. So if you might be able to pick up a used one for a fair amount cheaper, I think probably around the $500 range and through there. Look around though, you might find some good deals out there. So the only real flaw with this rifle is the fact that when you want to take it down and clean it, it's a little bit of an issue because this is essentially all this is just an aluminum case. So where your scope mount would be on a standard 1022 receiver, there's holes drilled in the top of this top rail. They go all the way through. You see this gap in here, and then there's the screws that hold that into where the scope mount would be. So you'd have to take out all those screws, take that off, and then this casing here, it comes off as well. There'd be some screws underneath. There's a big takedown bolt right there. Not to take down the rifle, but just to take off that aluminum case. Okay, so that pretty much concludes our day of shooting with the Ruger SR-22. My overall thoughts on that rifle, that is an excellent rifle for plinking and sending tons of rounds downrange. You will no doubt have an awesome time if you're shooting that rifle. So, if you guys haven't already, consider subscribing to the channel. I'd really appreciate it. I've gotten a ton of subscription lately and it's awesome. And give me your thoughts in the comments below. I know on some of my past rifles, there's a ton of comments down there. It's not always to do with the rifle, but it doesn't matter. If you want to talk about firearms or whatever, go ahead. And if you just want to ask me general questions, that's fine too. We'll catch you on the next one. See you later.